Hello everyone, this is William Lanik, League Manager. I am starting a video here for a very important registration that all players who want to play on a team in the league will need to do before they can actually begin playing. And that is that they have to register themselves onto the team, thereby getting onto their roster, and signing a waiver in the process. Under Register Now, in this blue area, there are two white buttons below the Register Now button. There's the Sign In and the Sign Up. For now, we're going to assume you've already created the account, and so you need to sign in. So click in the white Sign In button, and what that will do is take you to a new page, and that is the actual login page. And you'll know you're in the right place if you see this Sign In tab highlighted in white with black letters. Just a reminder that this is being done on a desktop computer. Things will be different if you do it on your smartphone. I don't actually recommend you do this process on your smartphone, but do it on a laptop, desktop, or tablet computer. And it just will be easier to see things because it's a little bit expansive, okay? Make life easier. You have to remember your email address and the password you created when you created the eSports Desk account. So I won't help you with that, but I can tell you that I've got a test account that we'll do a little walkthrough with, and I've got a little utility called RoboForm that I use to save my passwords and such. So I'm going to use that to fill in the password and the actual email of my test account. Just before we get in there, you can use the Remember Me checkbox if you want your browser to save the username and password. That's up to you. I'm going to leave mine unchecked for now because I've got this utility that saves it anyway. Once you've entered the information, click Sign In, and it'll take you into your account. Now there's two different places that you can register. One is under the Register Now button, and the other is under the Register tab in the upper left corner. We're going to click on Register Now, which is really the only button you really need to worry about to get you to the right place, either that or the Register tab in the upper left. And for this video, we're going to focus on the first item of these two that will be visible as of September the 9th. And the first one's called Roster Verification and Waiver Signing. This is for registered teams only, so your team does have to be registered in order for you to register yourself into one of the teams. Because if you're not on one of the teams, I don't think the team reps would appreciate some stranger registering themselves on their team. Doesn't quite work that way. So as long as these items, both of these registrations are active, you'll see a Register Now button, a blue button. You'll want to click the appropriate button. I will do a separate video for this other registration. It's very simple, but it's for players who have more than one team, or play on more than one team, or who have been invited to play on more than one team. You can be a full-time player, part-time player, substitute player, or even a one-time player that maybe just was asked to join, for one night or whatever. You do need to get yourself registered on any team that you go and play for. So just keep that in mind, okay? The good news is you only have to sign a waiver once, and that way this first registration you only have to fill out one time. So, and that's for your main team, whichever team you play on the most, or you want to make it, your main team. If you have two main teams, well, just pick one, and you can do the other one in the other registration, okay? So we're going to do the top one, Roster Verification, Register Now. And there'll be a little bit of a description of what it is. And I will read the first line here for you, but you can read the rest on your own or even as you're listening to me watching this video. It starts off, this registration are for players who either are already on a registered team or are intended to be a regular sub for at least one team. This registration is not for players who are not currently on any team. Okay, and then what you want to do is once you're familiar with that and it makes sense to you, if it applies to you, you continue on. You want to check the checkbox next to your name further down the page. In my case, this is as you can tell, a sample account, and so the player's name is Willie Goat. So you want to check next to that player. You can register obviously more than one person in the same esports desk account, like if you're a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. You definitely can register more than one person if that is of benefit to you. You can definitely do that. We'll proceed to the next step. You'll notice that if that checkbox isn't checked, that blue button on the bottom right all of a sudden isn't there. So you got to make sure that at least one person's checked. Click on that button, proceed to next step, and then you'll begin the actual registration process. You'll be asked a few questions. Which age group? Obviously you fit in whatever's most applicable to you. Then what level you want to play at. You can select more than one if you like. You can select two. I don't recommend selecting two that are separated. So in other words, if you're going to pick two adjacent ones. Court positions you regularly play. Again, you can pick as many as you want, but please be realistic, and I'd suggest you pick the one that you most regularly play, since that is what the question is asking you. Okay. The areas of Vancouver that you're willing to play in, you can select any combination of these. You can select all of them or one at a time or whatever you want. You could skip around and pick 2 or 3 or whatever combination you would like. Okay, and you just have to click on them once to check them and click on it again to uncheck them. Next question, how many nights a week are you going to be playing? And so be very mindful of what you pick here. You should be as accurate as you can. If you play full-time on a team, do you play on 2 teams? So if you play full-time on both teams, then that's what you want. If you want to be available to sub on other nights, then please do select one of the ones with the subs. If you definitely only want to be a full-time player and you're on one team, select 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how many teams you're playing full-time on, okay? It's kind of self-explanatory. If none of these apply, you can click Other and then explain more in the next box. So for now, I'll select 1 full-time team only, and then list other nights you play. If you are not on any other teams, just type in None to indicate that you're not on any other teams. Other teams you play in the league, again, if you're not on any teams, just type in None, because it's a required question that you need to answer. So just put that in there. None is fine if that applies to you. And if you do play on more than one team, then type in those extra teams in there. Please, good idea before you start this process to know the names of all the teams that you play on before you start. Okay. Best time to contact you, just type in whatever works best and which method works best as well. So if you only like to get text, then you put in text and the best time at or after, say 6 p.m., just as an example. If you're a daytime person, you want someone to contact you in the daytime, let them know. Be as specific as you can. That'll help a lot. Any other comments for team reps that you should know? Again, if you were on other teams, you may want to list other nights that you could play, for example, in this section. Just anything you want other people to know if they might want to contact you to play on their team, either part-time or full-time, or as a sub. This is the next question is the most important question in the whole thing. It's asking you to select a team. Unfortunately, you cannot select more than one team here. It would be nice, but the programming is too complicated, involved, expensive to produce, unfortunately. So you can only pick one. But you'll see that it's in the exact order of the registered teams that are in the league. So you can pick any one you want. I have to pick one, so I'm going to pick a team that I actually do play on, and that's the Oddballs on Wednesday night. The next section is the player waiver. This may change a little bit before you get to it, but please do have a read through. It is, for those of you who've been in the league before, pretty much exactly the same as it was last year and even the year before that. But again, anything new will be added to the top if we do add something new, okay? Once you've completely read through it or skimmed through it, just click I have read and understand the waiver. If you don't do that, this continue button will not show up. Please ignore this section here that says your purchase is not complete until payment, because you don't have to pay anything. There's no cost to do this. So now you can continue on after you've answered all the questions. If you've done it all correctly, it will let you through to the checkout phase. And again, you'll see there's no cost for this. Click the green checkout button if you are all done. If you've made a mistake or you want to go back, or you realize you selected the wrong team, then you have the other two options. Keep shopping. In other words, it would take you back to register for more things. I do not recommend that for this particular registration. But if you do happen to click that, to get back to this page, you can just click the little shopping cart icon, which will be up near the top. You can't see it right now, but trust me, it'll be there if you're on a different page. And if you don't want to follow through on this, or you made a mistake and you don't want to start again, you can just press clear cart and it'll take this right off. And you won't need to check out at all or do anything like that, because there'll be nothing to check out. Okay? For my benefit, I'm going to click checkout, and it tells me thank you, and that's pretty much all I need to do. I can review what I put in these responses, and on the next video we will talk about how to register on other teams if you are on more than one team's roster, or you want to be on more than one team's roster when you've been invited. That's the key thing. Don't be adding yourself to teams or rosters if you haven't been invited by the team. That's not the objective behind this, okay? And so the next video is only for people who need to register themselves on more than one roster. Otherwise, there's nothing more you need to do here except log out. And if you have any other questions, there's a couple of ways to get help. I wouldn't request that you email the league directly. First, try to contact your team rep to see if they can help you. If they can't answer your question, then go to the help desk icon in the bottom left here, that red area, and you can start a chat and ask a question there if it's more about the actual account or buttons in the account, that kind of thing. It's actually this area I'm not overly familiar with as far as all the other things it can do, because it's esports desk. It's not related to the league all that much. It's only meant for registrations, okay? But I'm happy to answer any questions from team reps, so please pass along any questions you have to your team rep, and they can email me, and I'll be happy to answer any of their questions to the best of my ability, or at least defer you somewhere where you can get the answer if I can't help you, okay? That's it for now. Thank you very much, and enjoy the season. Thank you for doing this. It's very important that you do this, as you need to sign that waiver as well as get on a roster. So this step is very important. That's it for now. Thank you.